I want to talk about this shoplifter story. There's so many tangents and facets to this alleged shoplifter story and the shopkeeper. And I think the scene that we've seen play out is no real great surprise in many respects. It's not as if we don't see this kind of thing happen from time to time, an altercation. And of course, whenever there's an altercation in the modern world, there are 1,000 people with cameras standing by to film every moment of it from different angles. But it doesn't matter. It's a bit like the sportification of life. Depending on who you support will depend on what you see. And it really is confirmation bias written big. And I think when you certainly on the basis of the video, on the basis of the evidence that we have, I think you look at this and come out with a whole load of sympathy for the shopkeeper. I don't see any other way you could conclude that. But I would also caveat with, I don't know, because I wasn't there. And I didn't have the full grasp of events, and I wouldn't have been privy to the nuances of what had happened and whether there was some previous business that was unsettled, or was it pertaining to another incident, blah, blah, blah. And so the fact that I don't know, I would stay away. But we live in a world where it doesn't work like that, because social media posts this kind of stuff and people lose their shizzle. And that's it. Before you realise it, somebody has mobilised a crowd and tried to close down a man's business. So these were protests that erupted in southeast London after the video emerged, appearing to show a woman being grabbed by the throat and dragged out of a shop after hitting a man with a basket. So she appears to hit the man in the head with the basket during the scuffle in Peckham. In the video, captured by a bystander, the woman says, "Get off, he's trying to strangle me." The shopkeeper, Sohail Sindho, has since spoken out, claiming the woman was the aggressor. You can see this unravelling on your screen here. The shopkeeper is absolutely convinced that he is merely defending his business, his territory, and he thinks he was attacked first, etc. Hundreds of people then gathered outside the shop in Peckham. It's Peckham Hair and Cosmetics. This is in Rye Lane, for those who know the locality, where the woman has been accused of theft. There's lots more to this story as well, in terms of allegations that she'd previously been arrested the day before. Can't substantiate that. Suggestion that the shopkeeper was merely trying to escort her out of his shop, having been violently assaulted himself. Suggestion that the woman had stolen some goods. A suggestion that actually she hadn't stolen the goods. She was trying to get a refund on some goods, but wasn't entitled to a refund on the blah, blah, blah. So on it goes. What would make hundreds of people, without knowing all of the... I've just thrown up 3 obvious questions that any sensible person with a brain would ask before they leapt to any dramatic judgment. Based on what we can see, I think, personal opinion, I think we see an aggressive response from a woman and a man trying to defend his shop and his safety. I don't think this is a man strangling somebody. It looks like a man robustly escorting somebody from his premises, based on the fact that he'd previously been hit himself. So that was his course of action and his method of doing it. That's what I think you see every day of the week when you look at that video. But some people had a different idea on this.